So for example, for this bell ringer, it just said graph the following inequalities on a number line. So you need to have all three of these to get the credit. Okay? We'll talk about it at a later date when we'll turn in bell ringers, all that stuff, but either every class or every other class, something like that, we'll have a bell ringer. So always check the board when you walk in. Okay? All right. So for number 1, I want to graph the inequality x is less than 4. Okay, so typically my rule of thumb is to put the value you're wanting in the middle, and then I'll go 2 to the left and 2 to the right. You can do whatever you want, though. That's just typically what I did. Okay? So, I heard some of y'all talking about it. When you have a less than sign, is your circle going to be open or closed? Open. Okay, it's going to be open. Okay, if you have a less than or a greater than sign, your circle is going to be open. Okay, I want all of the values less than 4. Okay, so now I need to draw an arrow that's connected to that circle. So if I want all the values less than 4, is my arrow going to be pointed to the left or the right? The left. Exactly. Okay, one student in 9th period said yesterday that the way she figures that out, so like for example, you have a less than sign here, she just turns it into an arrow, and now you can see everything to the left. So that works for you. All right, number 2. I have A is greater than -1, so I'm going to put -1 in the middle. Okay, what would be to the right?
0.
0, good, because I'm getting larger. I'm getting more positive, exactly. And then I'll have -2 and -3. So now that I have a greater than or equal to, is my circle going to be open or closed? Closed, okay? If you have greater than or equal to or less than or equal to, it's going to be closed. Okay? And if I want everything greater than or equal to, exactly, I'm going to go to the right because I want to get larger. Good. All right, and then lastly, R is less than or equal to -2. What's going to be to the left of -2? -3. And my circle going to be open or closed? Closed, because it has that or equal to. And is it going to point to the left or the right? It's going to point to the left. Very good. Point to the left. All right, so be sure that you have that down. And what we'll do is, like, say, if we have a bell ringer on Monday, you'll do the next bell ringer on that same sheet, and you'll keep working on that sheet until we turn it in. Sound good? So don't lose this. All right, if you're all good, you may put that away. Everyone should have a copy of the notes on their desk, hopefully. We have, I think, almost everyone. We're missing Heidi, Mason, and Logan's not in here anymore, so. Yeah, the schedule got changed. Yeah, that's probably what it is. The schedule got changed, so he's not in here anymore. So I think just Heidi and Mason are the only ones not here. Alright, so today we're going to practice solving inequalities. And when we're solving inequalities, it is very similar to solving an equation. Okay? So we just talked about these two, so we can fill those in. When you have the or equal to, once again, is that going to be an open or closed circle if you have that or equal to? Closed. Okay, and if you don't have that, that means it's going to be open. Okay? When you multiply or divide by a negative number, so when you multiply or divide by a negative number, does anyone remember what happens to your inequality sign? It flips. Good. Okay, so your inequality sign flips. So you have to remember to do that. Okay, so when you multiply or divide by a negative, your inequality change flip sign. And then the last step we're going to do with each of these is just like we did on the bell ringer. we're going to graph the inequality on a number line. So you need to remember when to have a closed or open circle. You need to know when to flip the sign, and then we got to graph it. Okay? All right, so let's jump right into number 1. Okay, so number 1, you solve it just like you would an equation. Okay, you just have to be careful with your inequality. All right, so what do you think the first thing I need to do here is? The parentheses. Okay, what do I need to do? Distribute. Okay, let's distribute in that -4. All right, what is -4 times 3x? -12x. And then what is -4 times -1? +4. Bring down the plus 6x. Bring down the greater than or equal to 16. All right. From here, what can I do on that left side? Combine like terms. I've got a -12x and a 6x. What does that get me? -6x. So I have a -6x plus 4 is greater than or equal to 16. All right. Now I've got an easy 2-step equation. I need to get the -6x alone. So what do I need to do with that 4? Subtract it. So -6x is greater than or equal to what? 12. And the last thing I need to do is what?
We need to graph it.
We got to solve the equation first.
Oh, we need to divide.
You got to get x by itself first. Yeah, so we need to divide. Okay? So on the left side, I just have x, -2. Well, what's my sign going to be?
Greater than or equal to.
It flips. Okay, I divided by a negative. So that's that rule you got to remember. I divided by a negative, my sign flips. So your answer is x is less than or equal to -2. You got to flip it. All right, now we're going to graph it. So I'm going to put -2 in the middle. And just like I told you on the bell ringer, my rule of thumb is just go 2 to the left, 2 to the right. So just draw you a skimpy little number line. Doesn't have to be anything pretty. Okay, what's going to be to the left of -2? -3. Okay, because I'm getting more negative. All right, so -3 and -1 and 0 on the right. All right, so first of all, is it going to be an open or closed circle since my sign is less than or equal to? Closed. And since it's less than, am I going to the left or the right with my arrow? The left. Okay, I'm wanting to get smaller. So more in the negative. Okay. All right. Questions on that? All right, let's jump into number 2. All right, number 2. Once again, the first thing I need to do is distribute. So distribute in that -3. I get -3 times 2x is -6x. -3 times 2 is, once again, -6 is less than 10. All right, what do I need to do next? Add the 6. Okay, you need that -6x alone. So add the 6. I get -6x is less than what? 16. And then my last step is what? Divide. Okay, divide both sides by a -6. Okay, what's going to happen to my sign? We're going to flip it because we divided once again by a negative. All right, 16 over 6 doesn't reduce to a whole number, but what can I divide both of those by? 2. Okay, I need to reduce it. So I'm going to divide both of those by 2. 16 divided by 2 is 8. And -6 divided by 2? negative 3. Okay, also if you put 16 over negative 6 in your calculator, it'll reduce it for you. Okay, so that is going to be our answer. X is greater than 8 over negative 3. All right, now we need to graph it. Okay, when you have a negative with a fraction, you can just easily just rewrite it as negative, like bring the negative out front. It doesn't have to stay in the denominator. So I could say that that is our fraction. Okay, so just bring the negative out front. All right, so I'm going to put negative 8 over 3 in the middle. Okay, so now for my going to the left and the right, what I'm going to do is I'm only going to change my numerator. Okay, all of my denominators are still going to be 3. Okay, so if I'm going to the right, what's the fraction I'm going to put here? Negative 7 over 3. Okay, you can't disregard that negative. Okay, you're getting more positive. Okay, so then the next one would be negative 6 over 3. But what's negative 6 over 3? 2. Okay, so you could also just write that as negative 2 if you wanted. It doesn't matter. Okay, now over here, what's the next one going to be on the left? Negative 9 over 3. Okay, that's also just negative 3. You can write it as that if you want. And then you have negative 10 over 3. All right, open or close circle. Open, because it's greater than. And once again, since it's greater than, am I going to point my arrow to the right or the left? The right. Very good. Because I'm wanting to get more positive. Good. All right. Number 3. All right. Once again, we're seeing a trend here. The first thing I need to do is distribute. So distribute in the 2. 2 times 4 is 8. 2 times negative 2x. Negative 4x is greater than 1. Okay. You want to try and leave all your x's on the left here. Okay. All of our x's are already by itself, so we don't, or they're all together, so we don't need to move it. But just in the future with inequalities, it's best to have all of your x's on the left. It just makes it easier to read. All right. So I want to leave the negative 4x there. So what do I need to do to get that alone? Subtract 8. Okay. So that is positive. To get it to the other side, I need to subtract. Very good. All right. So I have negative 4x is greater than, what's 1 minus 8? Negative 7. And then I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. All right. Does my sign flip? Yes, I divided by a negative. Okay? Negative 7 over negative 4 doesn't reduce, but what can I rewrite that as? 7 over 4, okay? A negative divided by a negative is a positive. So even though it doesn't divide out into an even number or reduce, a negative by a negative is still a positive. So negative 7 over negative 4 is just 7/4. All right, so now we need to graph it. So draw you your number line. So 7 over 4 will go in the middle. What's going to be to the left of 7 over 4? Left. Left. No. 6 over 4, okay? If I'm going to the left, I'm getting smaller. Think about a number line. You're getting smaller, okay? So that's 6 over 4. Okay, but you can reduce to 3/2 if you want. Alright, if I'm going to the left, I'm getting smaller. Alright, so then this will be 5 over 4. What's going to be to the right? That's going to be 8 over 4, because you're getting larger. Oh, finally hit you? I mean, think about it without the fractions. Think about it like a number line. If you're going to the right, you're getting more positive.
I was thinking of negative. Like, I was thinking.
Yeah, it's different with negatives, so be careful. All right, and then you have 9 over 4. All right, open or closed? Open because it's just less than, and because it's less than, am I moving to the left or the right? The left. To the left. Very good. So you just need to think about what your sign is. If your sign is negative, I mean, think about it like a number line. If I have 0 or -1 to the right, it's got to be 0 because I'm getting more positive. Okay, this is stuff we should be comfortable with. All right, number 4. Okay, we have decimals here, but just punch it in your calculator. Okay, but this ends up turning out really nice. All right, so like I was telling you, you want to try and get all of your x's on the left. So what do I need to move to get my x's on the left? Subtract the 1.5, exactly. So we're going to subtract the 1.5x. What is 3.5 minus 1.5? 2. So this just got real easy. 2x plus 19 is greater than or equal to -7. All right. Now what?
Subtract.
The 19?
Oh, yeah,
Yep.
I thought it was 9.
That's okay. Subtract the 19. Yes.
Yes.
So 2x is greater than or equal to, what is -7 minus 19? -26. All right, I'm going to divide both sides by 2. So x is alone. Oops. Pause there. Does my sign flip?
No, ma'am.
No. Okay. So the numerator can be negative, but your denominator, what you're dividing by, determines if your sign flips or not. So because I'm dividing by a +2, my sign stays the same. So this is the first one we haven't had to flip. So because I'm dividing by a positive number, my sign stays the same. And then what's -26 divided by 2? -13. All right. Draw your number line. Okay. So -13 we're going to put in the middle. All right. What is to the right of -13? -12. -12, okay? Because if I'm going to the right, I'm getting more positive. So that's -12. So -12, -11, and then to the left will be -14 and -15. All right. Open or close? Close, because it has that or equal to. And since it is greater than, it's my arrow pointing to the left or the right. JC, look. JC, look. What direction am I getting larger? More positive is what I should say. More positive. To the right. Okay? I want my values to be getting larger in terms of more positive. Look, watch this. Look. Look. JT, look. Okay. My sign was greater than or equal to, yes? Okay. Draw a little line. It tells you it's going that way. Okay. Do that if it helps you. My sign was greater than or equal to. Draw you a little line to create an arrow. That's where it's going. Okay. Use that to help you if you need it. All right. You like tricks. Use them. All right. Number, what are we on? 5. All right. So once again, get all of your x's on the left. So what do I need to move? The 5x. How am I going to get it over? Subtract it. All right. What is -2x minus 5x? -7x. Good. -5 is less than -22. All right. Now I need the -7x alone. Add 5. Very good. So what is negative 22 plus 5? Here are two different answers. Negative 17. Guys, you have a calculator in front of you. Please use it. Okay, you have the calculator. Just use it. Okay? Last thing, divide both sides by a negative 7. Yes, very good. Okay, so your x's alone, you flip it. 17 over 7, very good. So that does not reduce. Okay? There's nothing that can divide into both, but I have a negative divided by a negative, so it becomes positive. Or we say no crap to it. Okay, yeah, negative divided by a negative turns into a positive. All right. So 17 over 7 goes in the middle. What's going to go to the left? 16 over 7. There you go. Okay, 16 over 7 is going to go to the left. So that means there's a 15 over 7. And then the next will be 18 over 7 and 19 over 7. Okay, open or close? Open. Very good. I'm going to the right. Does that make sense to you? Okay. Makes sense for everyone else. Because I want to get larger. I want my x to be. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Sorry, I'm not stupid. Just made a mistake. So open. I can make mistakes too. All right. Number 6. Use your calculator. Okay? What did this? Didn't think they were supposed to. Hold on. Yes, they did. Pray to. What? I'll mess with them later. All right. Punch it in your calculator. Okay? So, first thing I need to do is what? Okay, yeah, all of your letters combine all your letters over here. Okay, you can combine like terms. So in your calculator, type in 2 minus 5 divided by 2. You should get negative 1/2. Alright, if you do not get that, I need to know. Okay, if you do not get that, I need to know. Alright, did we all get negative 1/2? I hope so. Alright, so we get negative 1/2 A minus 1/3 is less than or equal to 5/12. Alright, from here, how do I get the negative 1/2 A alone? Add the 1/3 to both sides, yes. Once again, just do it in your calculator. 5/12 plus 1/3, okay? Y'all remember that fraction question on the calculator portion of your test? Okay, it was one of the multiple choice. It had like 85 over 18.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? The point of that was to do it in your calculator.
3/4.
Okay, that's why it was on the calculator portion.
3/4.
3/4, yes. So negative 1/2 A is less than or equal to 3/4. Okay? I taught you one way how to do this. We're going to do it a different way. Okay? What's the operation happening here between the negative 1/2 and the A? What's currently happening? Multiplication. So what's the opposite of that? Divide. Okay, so instead of multiplying by the reciprocal like I told you to, you can just divide both sides by negative 1/2. Okay, some of you were already doing that. That's fine. Yes. Okay. All right. Make sure you get that. Go punch it in your calculator. Just don't take Addison's word to be true. Go figure it out yourself. I'm not saying anything against you. Sorry, Addison here.
Oh, and
Forgot we got 2 in here. Okay? Make sure you get negative 3 halves. So 3/4 divided by negative a half. Yes. No. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, I just haven't made it there yet. Yes. I was just talking about getting the numerical value.
If we multiply 5 and 6, we get the same answer.
Yep. You still should get negative 3 halves. Your reciprocal would be negative 2/1. All right. Did everyone get negative 3 halves? I hope so. Did you not? Okay. You got negative 6?
I mean, I got 1.
Look how she typed it.
Oh.
All right, did everyone get negative 3 halves? Okay. What does my sign of my inequality need to be? Flipped. Good, because I divided by a negative. Perfect. Oh, so not that way. This way. A is greater than or equal to negative 3 halves. All right, from here, we're going to graph it. Okay? So negative 3 halves goes in the middle. What's going to the right? Negative 2/2. Very good. So I want to get more positive. Very good. Yep, you can write it as negative 1. I'm fine with that. Okay? And then you'll have a negative 1/2. Okay? To the right, you'll have negative 4/2, which is the same thing as negative 2. So either or. And then you'll have negative 5/2. Okay? Open or close? Close, because it has that or equal to. And it's my arrow JT to the left or the right. Very good. To the right. Very good. All right. All good? Okay. I appreciate y'all, at least letting me know when you're not understanding. Right? But we gotta figure out how to ask questions. You can't just be a huh? Which I mean is fine. Like I don't mind that because you're at least verbally saying, hey, I don't understand, and not just sitting there. Okay, but we also gotta figure out how to ask questions too. But it'll get there with time. But I appreciate y'all at least today verbalizing your misunderstanding. That way I know. Okay? Because I would rather figure out before the test. Anyway, all right. For number 7, okay? Let's not worry about getting things to the other side first. Let's just distribute first and see what happens. Okay, we'll move things in a second. All right, so let's just distribute first. So I have 0 is greater than or equal to. What do I get when I distribute that 2 in at first? 2n plus 2. Okay, this is essentially me distributing in a negative 1. Okay, because remember when there's nothing there, it's an assumed 1. So distribute in a negative 1. So you get negative 2 minus 2n. Okay, now we can combine like terms. Okay, so we'll combine like terms and then we'll see what happens when it comes to moving. Okay, I have a 2n and a negative 2n. 0. Okay, what'd you say, JT?
Is it not 0 for everything?
0 for everything. Okay, then I have 2 minus 2. Okay, 0. Let me ask you this. Hold on. Let me ask you this. Is 0 greater than or equal to 0? Okay, so that's a true statement, yes? Yes. Okay, what happened when we had equations that had true statements? What was our answer?
All real numbers.
All real numbers. Very good. So your answer for number 7 is all real numbers. There's nothing to graph. That's saying whatever I plug into this equation, whatever value I plug in for n is going to work. So it would essentially be your whole number line from negative infinity to infinity. Okay, so all real numbers. Very good. Good. All right. So I don't know if it'll come up real quick on the homework. but just in case it does, if it wanted it, you know how we've been writing things with inequalities? It would be negative infinity is less than or equal to x is less than or equal to infinity. Just write that down. Okay, I don't think it comes up on your homework, but just in case. That's the same thing as all real numbers. Yes. Okay, so just in case it asks you, if you get all real numbers on your homework, it may want you to type it in that way. I'm not sure. No one in ninth period complained about it. Just trust me. Just write it down. We'll talk about it another day. This is saying all the numbers from negative infinity to infinity are an answer. So for forever and ever, every answer will work. Okay? All right, 2 more problems. What's up? There will be a button. There's a specific button on the screen that you'll click. Anyway, no one in ninth period complained about that though. So hopefully it doesn't come up, but just in case it does. All right, number 8. So remember, there's an assumed 1 out front. So once again, I need to distribute. So I have 3x minus x. What's my sign of my 3 going to be? Positive, because I have a negative times a negative. That's a 1. It's an assumed 1 out front. Okay? And then when I distribute in the 2 over here, I have less than 2x minus 6. Okay. What can I do on that left side? Combine like terms. I have a 3x and a negative x. What does that become? 2x, yes. 2x plus 3 is greater or less than, 2x minus 6. Okay, let's get all of our x's on the same side. So I'm going to subtract over this 2x. What happens? It turns into a 0. Okay, so all I'm left with is 3 is less than negative 6. I just subtracted over the 2x. 2x minus 2x is 0. So I'm left with 3 is less than negative 6. Is 3 less than negative 6? No, it's not. Okay, so that's a false statement. No solution. Very good. So just like with equations, when you get a false statement for your answer is no solution. And I'm pretty sure on your homework, if you get no solution, there's a big button that literally says no solution. So, no solution because I got a false statement. So no number I plug in is going to work. All good? All right. For number 9, this will be our last one, and then we'll talk about your homework. Okay. First thing I need to do is distribute. So I get 3m minus 6, and then distribute it, and I get 3m plus 6. Okay. What do you notice is going to happen again? The m's are going to go to 0, exactly. Okay, it's going to be negative 6. All right, I don't change the sign here because I'm not multiplying or dividing by a negative, okay? So I have negative 6 is less than 6. That's true. Okay, negative 6 is less than 6. So once again, your answer. All real numbers, okay? All real numbers. I also told y'all last week when we introduced all real numbers, that fancy little R, you can use that as well. Okay. All real numbers. All right. Are there any questions at all about solving and graphing inequalities? All right, here's what I need you to do. I need you to leave out your notes. I need you to take out a scratch piece of paper, and I need you to get out your laptop and log into Delta Math. A lot of you haven't even signed up for Delta Math. So you need to, okay? If you've already in a class for geometry, because a lot of you are ninth graders, you need to register for the algebra class, okay? If you go to today's folder in my class, the code is there. So first of all, a lot of you need to sign up for Delta Math. If you're already signed up, just go ahead and log in, but don't start the assignment yet. Is there anyone in here that's never used Delta Math a day in their life? Did you not do your homework today? You started your homework today, didn't you?
Oh.
You've used it. Is there anyone that seriously has not?
I never used it. I used like. I think.
But you've used it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. You've at least used it once. Is there anyone in here that has not used it at all? Okay, so everyone's at least familiar with how it works, so I don't have to go into that. So go ahead and log in. Go ahead and log in. And if you're not signed up for this class, you need to go to School Machine and go to today's folder to sign up for that class. Got 'em. There's a little button on the back reset. You gotta use like a pencil tip. Just hold it down for like 5 seconds. I don't think it's I don't think it fixes it for forever, but it'll at least turn it off for the time being. Yeah, this is my one that says low battery, but whatever. Okay. Alright, so get logged in. Don't start. If you haven't signed up for the class, you need to sign up for the class. So I can tell you who has signed up as of like a day or two ago. I haven't rechecked. So like the only people I had signed up on Monday were Bryson, Addison, Meredith, Anna, Lee, Stella, Zachary, and Addison. So my two Addisons and then those I named were the only ones that I had signed up.
Oh, I didn't.
Okay, that's cool. Go to our wallet. Go to today's folder. Go to 1 week 4. Today, Thursday. I'm gonna click sign. It'll give you the link. You don't have to make a whole new account. You just have to log out. I click for students, and then you have to register. So you can still use your same login. You just have to actually register for the class. Check Schoology. I would have to write 6 class codes. I have 6 classes. So. No, the reminds are over there, but the Delta map isn't. Alright, so when you log in, your page should look like this. When you're logged in and sign up for the class, your page should look like this. And once you're logged in, just kind of don't be looking at your laptop. That way I know that you don't have to be looking at me. Just that way I know you're ready to go. And because if you're looking at your laptop, then it makes it look like to me that you're still trying to get signed up. So just when you're all good, just don't be looking at your laptop.
It only lets me have like one class.
Do what?
No, because like I have algebra now.
Yeah, you just have to look. Alright, is everyone registered? Okay, let me explain the basics for in here, because what I do in here may be different from what Ms. White does. Okay, so you have 12 problems to complete. Okay, So you have 5 in that L1, 5 in L2, and 2 with fractions. Okay, with the fractions, just use your calculator. Okay, just use your calculator. Don't sit there and try and figure out a common denominator and all that, because we didn't talk about it. Just use your calculator. Okay. But so how it'll work is just like if you have me for geometry or you've had me for geometry before. Okay, you have to submit your scratch in order to get full credit. Okay, first of all, before we talk about that, let's talk about the due date. When is the due date?
August 31st.
August 31st. Okay, so some of you may be thinking, hey, that's a little while from now. Okay, that is when your quiz will be on this section. Okay, I'm not doing day of tests anymore, so if you had me last year, that's what I did. There's just, because I'm not seeing y'all every day, it's too long of a gap. So I'm deciding to do day of quiz. Okay, so this August 31st is when you'll be quizzed. So September 1st at midnight, that's closing, and it's not reopening. Okay, because you've got about a week to do it. Okay. In order to get full credit, you need to submit your scratch work to Schoology. All right. Let me get to 10th period. Okay, and I also need you to submit it as a PDF. So not just a picture. Okay, I need you to submit it as a PDF. Let me make sure this is there. Yes. Okay. If you go to, I have a page labeled "How to Submit Homework to Schoology." Okay, it gives you 2 links, one for iPhone, one for Android. It's like a 5-minute video. Okay, I need you to submit it as a PDF because, like a good example, I have a student in my 9th period who was out of town last week. She was submitting her stuff on Schoology as pictures. For whatever reason, for the life of me, my computer would not open it, and it was a pain. But with a PDF, I can always open it because anyone can open a PDF. So please, 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 when you submit your scratch, watch those videos to teach you how to do it. It takes like 5 minutes max. Okay? So please submit your stuff as a PDF. All right? The only way, so this is where I may differ from Ms. White. So if you have her, you have her. Okay? The difference is that if you do not submit your scratch for me, so the only way you can make a 10 out of 10 is if you submit your scratch. Okay? If you do not submit your scratch, the most you make is a 5 out of 10. So half credit. Because you got to prove to me that you did it, and you didn't just go to PhotoMath. Okay, because I know y'all do it. All right. So you need to prove to me that you can do it, which means I need to see your scratch. So once you finish, you'll submit your scratch to Schoology. I'll give you the credit. All right. Some incentives that I do that Ms. White doesn't necessarily do to give you, or my incentive of why you should do it now and not wait till August 31st at 11:30 p.m. All right. If you do it tonight and it's done and you've submitted your scratch, you get 2 bonus points on your homework. So instead of a 10 out of 10, you make a 12 out of 10. Some of y'all aren't even listening. Okay? If you submit your scratch tonight and you're finished tonight, you get a 12 out of 10 on your homework. Okay? Eventually it'll pay off. It starts off not doing much for you, but eventually it pays off. Okay? Some of you that had me last semester can say that. All right? So lucky for y'all, I don't see you again until Monday. So technically you have the weekend. Okay? If you have it done before you walk in on Monday, you get 1 bonus point. So instead of a 12 out of 10, you get an 11 out of 10. But you got to submit your work in order to get that bonus. Okay? Are there any questions? All right, I want y'all to at least get started. We've got about 10 minutes till car riders are dismissed, so go ahead and at least start. And then once car riders are dismissed, I'll let y'all pack up. Yes. That's fine. Yeah. But you'll need to start this at some point. So, but yeah, I'm fine with that.